If you have the Makita BAC01 or 1500 and you're using them on outdoor power equipment, you're looking for something else to do, you can take this battery pack off and now use it on an inverter. This is the Makita BAC01, which is a 1400 watt inverter that you can use just about anywhere you'd like, and it's going to take the BAC1200 and BAC1500 batteries. They're going to slide on top, and this is going to become one unit, albeit a fairly heavy unit because all this weight together is pretty significant. The bottom only $779, 1400 watts. When we look at this whole thing, we have 1206 watt hours on top. So if we were running this at 1400 watts, given the fact that there's going to be a little bit of loss going from DC to AC, we're going to get about 45 minutes of runtime on that. But these aren't meant to be run at full blast. Now you're going to be able to put 2800 watts on this, and it's just only going to be able to put out 1400 watts continuous. So short spikes, no big deal if you're running a saw. Basics of this though, you're going to use it for something between the 6 to 1000 watt area, and you're going to be very happy with the runtime. So we put the battery on top. We have this cord from the battery on the back. They have a nice place that we can put the cord in, get it out of the way, and then we have our power connector in the back. There's a little arrow that's on the top. We can take our arrow from this connector, slide it in. We are in business. This guy's ready to run. Initially, when you look at the BAC1200 on top of the BAC01, the whole unit looks a little complicated with some weird ports. Now this port is how you charge the BAC1200 and 1500, and it uses this larger Makita charger with this cord. So you simply line that up, plug her in, and it's charging. The red light down here says it's charging. The rest of it will tell you how much of the battery is charged. Now if we'd like to, we can push the button and it's still telling us we're close to fully charged, but at the same point we can't turn anything else on while charging. So we have to unhook this guy, push and hold our power button. That turns everything on. We're in the US, we're at 60 Hertz, but we have the option to go with 50 or 60 Hertz. Let's plug into this guy and see how much power it's actually putting out and the voltage. I want to start out looking at AC only because that to me is pretty important. A lot of power inverters that we've looked at won't put out a full 120 volts in the US. They do 110 because they can kind of share that with the Japanese and just switch between 50 and 60 Hertz. Here we are good. We are at basically 119.9, 120 volts. That is going to be great. We're going to use our heat gun here. This, when turned on medium, is going to be about 600 to 700 watts. We can compare this 758, 773, and up on top we have a meter that goes across. It's showing us 600. It's not lighting up the 800 at this point in time. Let's look at the Hertz, 59.5. We're running 6.44 amps and holding 117.5 volts. Let's go to high. This is going to take us almost to the max. It's lit up through 1200. So if we look at the watts, we are at 1329, 1340. It's going to bounce around a little bit. 11.45 amps. And we're still holding the same Hertz. And our voltage is still pretty good. We're at 116.9. Now let's change this up a little bit and let's plug in a dual battery charger. This battery charger itself should be around 600 watts, guessing. It's going to take a minute for everything to kind of get together, figure out what it needs to do with the batteries, but we're showing nothing at this point. Our kilowatt basically confirms that, although we can't see watts or anything out. It's just showing us our voltage. Once those batteries kick in and start charging, we should start to see our output watts, and it's saying 200 here. Interesting, because it will probably ramp up based on the batteries. We all know that that changes, but what we can do at this point is kick up our heater and just see what happens, because we should be over, especially now that we hit 400, we should be over the 1400 watts. So let's watch what happens with our voltage when we kick this right up. We got a red light showing us that we're over. Still holding 116 though. That is awesome. And it turned itself off. But the nice part about this, we have a good system to turn everything off when you are over voltage or overdrawing, but we still kept 116 volts, which is going to be great for the tool. So we're beeping, you can hear the alarm. We'll reset, turn off our heater, and everything will turn back on. Let's charge a few more batteries here while we have this guy going. We're going to have a ton of fans going, and eventually the power converter is going to have a fan that's going to turn on. We have DC 12 volts. This is a cigarette lighter or a 12 volt accessory out. That is going to be 10 amps. We also have a USB that has two USB-A's. They are 5 volt, 2.4 amp, and then we have two USB-C PD 30 watts out. You know, a lot of people are going to wish those were PD 100s. They are not. You can now hear the fan that's going on inside this power converter. It's not overly loud, but it's something that's going to happen in every power converter. They're going to keep this cool. If you're interested in how you can stack this, these little guys here are not for opening anything up. They are for Makita Mac packs. Not the Mac track that's coming out, Mac packs. So you can put this on the bottom or top. You can see the other piece down here that would snap in. That is going to be to use this and connect it to another system. Now, if you're using it, you obviously can't connect something else on top, but you could have something else connected on the bottom. There's not much to this other than what we have here. You can just push buttons, turn things on, let them do whatever you're going to do. You don't have to have everything on. You can go through, pick, push, anything. Very simple unit, and it's nice to see that we are putting out a good quality voltage with the correct hertz. Again, I go back to Makita being an engineering company. I expected that. So if you're looking for something that is high quality, not going to hurt any of the electronics you have, this is going to be it. So the power converter has an overcurrent safety, which we showed you. It also has an over temperature safety. So if it gets too hot, the fans can't cool it down, or the battery gets too hot, it will also shut itself down. I think that's great. Now we've let this run for a long time. All our Milwaukee batteries are charged. We are still charging up one XGT battery. You can hear the fan that's going over there. There is no fan that is going on the power converter at this point in time. And we are doing just over 400 watts. We can push this button. We still have 3 of 4 bars inside this battery pack, which I think is good. But again, 1400 watts on this. Makita says it's going to run 52 to 56 minutes. I think you're going to get around 45 pushing it, just my guess. Either way, still works for most people if you want to have this on the job site, or if you want to have this in your van to run something else. I think it's cool. A little more high quality than what you're going to get off of Amazon. A little bit more money. Also, I'm very interested in what you guys have for comments on this. Leave them below. Also, give us a like in this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.